Hi guys, so in today's video I thought I would update you guys on the pigs and just some rather large updates that have kind of been going on. So if you guys didn't watch my last video, it was basically the introduction of the two herds after Fergus passed away. And I did also update you guys that one of the females, so I ended up getting 3 females for Finley, who is this little guy here, the white male who I rescued. He was I ended up getting castrated and then rescued 3 females. Turns out one of those females was definitely pregnant when I got her. I knew that categorically just because she was slightly large, and she ended up having one male baby who is that little guy back there. And he was born 2 weeks ago last Wednesday, so today is Sunday, so he'll be 3 weeks old on Wednesday now. Typically with guinea pigs, you tend to want to separate babies from mum when they reach male babies from when they reach 3 weeks old, because that's when they can get mum pregnant. This little guy became sexually mature a lot quicker. So he became sexually mature at a week and a half old. He started showing some sexual behaviour towards mum, and at 2 weeks old, he was actively trying to hump her. So I spoke to my vet and we made the call to separate them. And then he just went with Finley, and so far everything is really, really nice. And they are currently living in that Fair Plus 120, but they are moving into their permanent cage tomorrow. So they're going in a 6 foot hutch, which is 6 foot by 2 foot, and yeah. So then that leaves obviously mum. She is now all clear, pregnancy's all fine. So at the time that I had my group of 8, and then the group of 4, which was or 5, sorry, which was Finley, baby Timothy. His name is sorry, so baby Tim. So Timothy, Finley, Eden, Eddie, and Freya, who is Timothy's mum. And so Freya's not pregnant anymore, Eddie isn't pregnant, and then I started noticing Eden gaining a bit of weight, and I was like, okay, crap. And then the other day I felt baby's kicking. That's a sign of late pregnancy. So I ended up calling Pets at Home, and I was like, look, a female that I adopted from you, this is now the second female who was showing me signs of being pregnant. And they were like, basically I've made her with Pets Home because I wanted to get an ultrasound just to double confirm it because I wasn't 100% sure, and under their policy technically they should cover it because she didn't fall pregnant under my care. So yesterday then the vet wasn't impressed with them, and the vet decided that Pets Home were going to cover it. So she is pregnant with between 3 and 4 babies. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the babies at the moment. At the moment I do have 20 guinea pigs, which yeah, don't really want any more, to be honest. And yeah, so that is kind of that update with them. And then what ended up happening was, because Eddie is a very dominant female, she does pick on Eden a little bit. I did decide to bond him with my group of 8, so now that is now a group of 9, and I made the cage bigger. And yeah, so that is them. And then today I went to the range. I actually filmed a haul, and that video should be up probably before this video actually. And on my way back home, I stopped at my mum's house first. My mum only lives across the road from me actually. And I came over to my house, and on the way over, one of my neighbours said, oh, you have guinea pigs, don't you? I've seen you with guinea pigs. I was like, yeah. And he's like, I need you to take my 2 guinea pigs. They're really, really sick. And at first I wasn't going to take them because I have 20. I have enough, in my opinion. Like, I think for me, a lot of people think I have a lot of pigs, which is very, very true. But saying that they all are extremely well cared for. They have everything they need. I personally think you can be a hoarder with 2 guinea pigs, and you can be a hoarder with 50 guinea pigs. It just depends on how they're cared for and if you can afford them. So I wasn't really interested in taking on any more, to be honest, especially males. I said to him, I was like, are they males or are they females? Because in my opinion, I was like, if they're girls, I can stick them with the herds, one of the herds after being quarantined. And he's like, I don't know. He had apparently hadn't had them for very long. Turns out he'd had them since March. And when I saw them, it was kind of heartbreaking. So one of the males is not that sick, and then he just has mammary tumours, which is very common in male guinea pigs, especially as they get slightly older. So I will be taking him to my exotics vet on Monday. And one of the guinea pigs basically either had his face was deformed, he either had a jaw abscess, or which had kind of spread to his nose and he couldn't breathe, or he had a tumour, and he physically couldn't breathe and eat at the same time. They We're living in a fair plus 120, which is the bare minimum for guinea pigs, but I would still say that's small. And they had no hay. They just were fed really crap nuggets from Sainsbury's, I believe. And yeah, it wasn't great. So, and they were on sawdust too, which you shouldn't use sawdust. It's awful. Like, you can cause upper respiratory infections. This guinea pig also had an upper respiratory infection on top of all his health issues. He couldn't even open his eyes because he had eye infections and he was dehydrated. And so I had to rush him to an emergency vet. Now, my exotics vet that I use for the pigs does not work Saturday, Sunday. And obviously I have to use an emergency vet. And thankfully, the emergency vet I went to, which is closer than my exotics vet, she was actually small animal trained, and she saw both of them, and she's like, okay, the male who has the mammary gland tumors, he's actually really healthy. He's just a little bit dehydrated. Like, nothing's majorly wrong with him, bar the fact also their nails were in deplorable condition. And yeah, so he's doing okay. The other male, we did make the decision to euthanize because he physically couldn't breathe that oxygen, and yeah, so it wasn't a great thing. So now my plan is I'm going to be taking him. I had to actually give him a bath because he was disgusting. He had pee stains on his armpits and his boy bits were really dirty, and he needed like a good old just clean. So he will. So at the moment he's staying at my mum's just because I need to make some space anyway for him, but tomorrow I'm bringing him home, or next week, or I think tomorrow actually, I'm bringing him to my house. And my plan going forward long term is I will be taking him to my exotics vet on Monday, and I will be asking them if I can neuter him, and obviously having the mammary gland tumours removed at the same time, because mammary gland tumours are not a major thing, but obviously they are something. So I will do like a proper introduction video on him tomorrow and things like that, and I'll film that for you guys. But so my plan going forward for him long term is he will be living with, depending on which of my females he gets along with, or he may end up, if Eden has any female babies, or for example, if he's not a candidate for castration, I will just pair him if Eden has a male baby. So there's a lot to kind of think about with that, but obviously I'll film another video for that. There's all my updates on the guinea pigs. So thank you guys for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye guys.